What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of Casual Gastronomy. My name is still Aaron.
And I'm still Ward.
And today we've got the best episode for you yet. Today we're making something that we've never made before, something you might have not even heard of, called focaccia.
So if you've never heard of focaccia before, think of on the spectrum of bread on this side to pizza on this side. The perfect baby of the two, bread and pizza, is focaccia. Because it has similar aspects of pizza where you can add your toppings and like customize it like that, but also it's fluffy like bread. So it's the perfect in-between baby of those two.
Amazing. Focaccia, if I had to compare it to something, I might say it's almost like if you're from New Jersey, you'll know the grandma-style pie with the Sicilian. But today we're going to do one where we've got kind of cheese and toppings on one half, and it's going to be pretty plain on the other side so that you get a little taste of the full potential of focaccia and also the base model, the original.
The best of both worlds.
Yes. And I'll tell you, we made this earlier in the week, and this might be the best thing we've ever made. It was so delicious.
It's so good, guys.
Even my mom ate a slice.
And that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. She never eats any of our food. The slice was maybe like 1 by 1.5 inches. But
it's one bite size.
I was so pleased that she tried it. I think you're really going to like this recipe, so let's jump into it. For the dough, you'll need to start the night before by mixing 20 grams of honey with 2.5 cups of warm water and 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. Let that sit and bloom for about 15 minutes, then combine with 850 grams of flour, 18 grams of salt, and 50 grams of olive oil. Mix that together in a large bowl just until it comes together into a ball. The next day, gently transfer your focaccia onto a well-oiled baking tray. Stretch the dough slightly to fit the pan. At this point, the dough will still be too springy, so it won't reach every corner. Let it rest for about 15 minutes, then give it one more stretch and get it as close to all the edges of the pan as possible. Alright, so it's been 15 minutes, it's had a chance to relax, and all you're gonna do is just kind of pull it away a little bit, try and get some of the olive oil onto the sides to really make sure it doesn't stick, and just really push it into those corners. Okay, I spilled a little olive oil. You might spill a little olive oil. It's okay. Cooking is a little messy sometimes, and that's fine. It's just like life. Okay. Life lesson over. Going back into an off oven for another 15 minutes while we prepare our toppings.
And we have these sun-dried tomatoes from Whole Foods. Very yummy. And struggle to get the cap off because it's really oily. And let's just pull some out. Okay, and then we're just gonna cut these up a little bit so you don't get giant tomato chunks in your focaccia, because someone like me who doesn't really like tomatoes, maybe you can just spread out the love. Okay, and then once you have them all chopped up, you can just set them to the side while you prepare the other toppings. So for the rosemary, we're just gonna pick them off the little stem, whatever you call it. What do you call it? Stem? The rosemary stem. The branch from the rosemary tree that we have in the kitchen. Once you've picked enough, you can just set them to the side with the tomatoes and wait for the rest of the toppings.
Alright, so we're gonna cut up about a handful, maybe more, of these little onion dudes. Honestly, you could really just use a regular full-size red onion, but we just thought it'd be fun to switch it up and get some tiny little baby onions. Who knows, they might look really nice on the focaccia anyway. I almost just called it pizza. Skin off. And then I'm just gonna slice off little rounds. Alright, so I'm gonna dip my fingers in some of these little little olive oil pools that have formed at the corners so that I can give this guy a little poke.
Nice pokey action.
Yeah. You don't need to go too hard, but just give it some dimples, you know? Alright guys, so we did it. We made our focaccia and it turned out super nice. I'm very pleased with the rise we got. Ooh, so we got a really floofy crust. I hope it's focused on this. If not, that's gonna be awkward. The toppings look super good. The tomatoes, we didn't cut them too small so they didn't burn. We got a little rosemary, and afterward we topped it with a little bit of some really deeply caramelized onions that I made yesterday.
Overall looks really good, so let's taste it.
Let's figure out how this tastes. What are you gonna do, cheese or plain?
Cheese first.
Cheese first.
The cheese just gives it that extra little bit that it needs.
The cheese, it elevates it
Yeah,
from little snack to this could be a full meal.
because it adds a little bit of saltiness and nuttiness,
Yeah.
but not too much. It's really good, and it works well with the onions and the tomatoes too.
And the rosemary. Yeah,
Yeah.
the tomatoes add this acidity that almost makes it taste like sourdough. It's so delicious.
Let's
Let's
try
try
the
plain.
regular. And it's just so fluffy. Like, it's not too heavy when you eat it, so you can eat several pieces if you want.
And it's a little bit crispy on the outside.
Are you okay? You're choking up. It's so good.
I'm dying. It's a little bit crispy on the outside. It's fluffy on the inside. It's salty. It's tangy.
It's the perfect mix between pizza and bread.
Did we do that right? Is that what we did?
Yeah,
it's it.
yeah.
It's so good, especially when you just drizzle on a little bit of good olive oil over the top. I love olive oil. Yeah, and this dish is all about just using tons of good quality olive oil.
Yes.
So I can highly appreciate this meal, and I highly recommend that you guys try it out for yourselves. I know I say this every single time, but this is the best thing that we've ever made, and I hope that you try it out and that you post pics of it for us to see. Use the hashtag Casual Gastronomy so we can check out your photos. Anything else? Give us a like. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep making these videos for you, and we'll see you next week.